gone, but you were missed.
Thank you. From what I understand, I was out for the 3 Fridays, and you had Jill Rigby Garner.
Jill Rigby Garner.
You had our mayor,
Sharon Weston Broom,
and we
had Kathy Victorian and Chelsea Morrow
from the Red Cross,
American Heart Association.
American Heart Association.
And they had the dummy in here. Don't.
You thought it too, though, didn't you?
It was.
But that was.
I had forgotten, and all guests were just fantastic. I had forgotten that Mayor Broom was on TV. She was on Channel 2 for years. I had forgotten about that. But anyway, she was great. She's got out of that, got into public service, so she got a real job and got out of this broadcasting mess.
But thank you for everyone that filled in, and I know that.
Now she will fill in with you when I'm gone, because she really, she enjoyed me, but she said off camera, she said I would love. Would Diane let me come do it? I said, oh, absolutely.
Yes. And when are you gone?
Listen at this.
I didn't mean
Listen at that.
I'm just for planning purposes.
Not soon enough.
For planning purposes. Speaking of planning purposes, you need to talk a little bit about our weather and traffic.
Oh, yes, please, ma'am.
Well, I tell you what, yesterday afternoon, during the morning show yesterday, I'm going to kind of digress here. During the morning show yesterday, we went ahead and put up our future cast for Thursday afternoon. And we said not a lot of people were going to have those storms, but when you were if you're going to be under one of those storms, you're going to know it.
Nailed it, by the way.
Oh my
gosh.
At about 5:15 or so, that severe thunderstorm warning came across. And my house too, it got real dark. And then all of a sudden, the wind and the rain, and it started blowing. And there were folks, of course, I think that both Steve and Jay mentioned that there were reports of hail.
Oh, we had tons of, in fact, I brought some hail this morning in a jar, but it's not hail anymore. But I did.
But in any event, yesterday, that's the beauty of that future radar, to kind of show you and pinpoint. We said not everybody was going to have it, and that was the case, because some of the outlying parishes and surrounding areas, nothing at all.
Well, I remember laying on the floor yesterday, because I was watching some TV, laying on the floor about that time, and I remember what you said yesterday morning. You said, but those of you who might get it are going to really get it. And I'm thinking, holy Toledo.
And that's kind of the case today. It's nice and quiet out there this morning. Last night, when you went to bed, Jay still had a little bit of rain, a few storms on Doppler. Getting up this morning for the early show and all, it was nice and quiet. It's quiet now, but looking ahead to the noon hour, when Steve's on at noon, more than likely there's not going to be much on Doppler, but it's again this afternoon. It's that evening drive. On a good day, Friday evening drive is just sometimes challenging. But on a bad weather day, a Friday evening commute, please be careful. Just allow yourself extra drive time, allow yourself a lot of patience, and just keep your mind on your driving too. Don't be thinking about tonight's plans or the weekend plans or what you're going to do for the 4th of July next week, because I'm afraid that this Friday night, this evening, for that drive, is going to be just a little tricky. And now we're under that low wind risk for severe weather. Storm Prediction Center says we could have those small microbursts, could have the strong winds, could have the small hail. Just about everything we had yesterday, that could recur again today. So just a little heads up, be aware of that. We're all happy that it's the weekend. We're all happy that it's a Friday and that we made it through the week, but just be really cautious.
And look, if you're out and about and you hear thunder, that means what? Lightning you are in the vicinity of possible lightning. Is that right?
You've just got to be very,
I can't remember how you guys said it the other day.
And again, turn around, don't drown, because sometimes you do have just these downpours all at once. And the places that are prone to flooding, I mean, it doesn't take much, and before you know it, you're kind of in a bind. So you need to be careful.
I feel like I'm. This week has been. Do you ever have weeks where, when the week starts off challenging and frustrating, it doesn't get better? It just kind of, and I feel like I'm just snapping at people today. I feel like I'm on the edge. I feel like.
We've had a lot going on here, at the station, a lot, behind the scenes, and everything is good, but just a lot of pressure, I think, this past week.
Yeah. And it's ending like it began.
Well, but it's all good, and it's fine, and we're going to have a good weekend. Looking forward to next week, and you're off next Thursday and Friday for the 4th of July, and for the Friday as well.
Yeah, so I just took Friday. I'll be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I'm sorry?
I'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, are you going anywhere?
No. Jeff has been so gracious. Jeff Morrow has been so gracious to say that he will fill in for me on Thursday, rather, for the 4th of July. I haven't had a 4th of July off in a long time, so that'll be fun. So I'll have that, and then come back in on Friday, and then just have the weekend. So that's a good thing. And I know a lot of folks planning probably vacations, maybe taking off this week, planning the first week of July as a vacation week, and so it's good. And right now it looks like it's just going to be hot and maybe a little bit of rain, but nothing, I don't think, out of the ordinary. extraordinary from what we're used to in the afternoon in the summertime around here.
And Amanda Lindsley, who is on the other
Yes.
side of the desk producing
Hey,
the show
Amanda.
for us every Friday, does a fantastic job. Couldn't do this without her. We are going to, because of the 4th of July holiday and so much going on Friday, we're not going to do a Java next Friday.
Because she's got a whole lot going on next
yeah,
Friday. We're kind of on a skeleton crew for the holiday for Thursday and Friday. So we're just...
Won't be like that every single holiday, but we're still in the beginning stages of our
Right.
show, so we're not going to do a Java Talk a week from today. We'll be back 2 weeks from
Yes.
today,
Yes.
9:30 to 10 on all of our...
with our regular.
Okay, we're going to move into something a lot more relaxing and a lot more enjoyable because of the week. I think we can end on a good week by talking about your trip.
Oh gosh, it was really an amazing vacation.
Bunkie is so exciting this time of year, is it not?
Well, what is it? It's that's the most beautiful spot in Louisiana. What was it that we talked about this morning that won that spot? Oh
Was
gosh.
it Frutos?
No, it was Homa. Remember?
Homa.
Yes. And we
Homa,
love
Terrebonne Parish.
Yes, and we love y'all down there because we did one of our road trips down there.
I like that area.
I do too.
love that area.
So we love Homa, we love South Louisiana, we love New Orleans.
But seriously, you took off. I felt so bad for you the day before you left. You left on a Thursday. You flew out on
the 7th of June, on the 6th of June.
And on the 6th of June, Diane told me on the 5th, she said, tomorrow I'm going to get out of here at 9. I'm going to got some last minute, one more load of clothes to do, And Thursday, all heck broke.
And remember, that's when Government
loose.
Street was a river out
Which
here.
it never
that's when we had
has
the strong
flooded.
storms. And,
So I felt really bad for you because you spent that whole day before your trip.
But that's okay.
How long did it take you to get into vacation mode that Friday? Was it pretty quick?
Well, once you're on a plane.
Really? Yeah.
Once you're on a plane, everything is packed, everything is done. If it's not packed, it's too bad.
Now, you went out of the country.
I did. And because we talked about doing that global entry and we did all that, and you took me down to the airport and I had my little interview. And
I know I've heard your frustration this morning about some things, but how was the actual global re-entry?
Was fabulous.
Really?
And that's just coming back to the country. That's pretty much customs. Because I remember years ago when you came back from an out of the country trip, before you landed, whatever flight you're on Delta, American, United, or whatever, that they would hand out pieces of paper. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And you would have to fill out, that's your declaration for customs on how much you spent, what you're declaring from an out of, out of the country to come back in. They don't do that anymore. See, I didn't realize that. What they have now is that, when you have the global entry,
Love that.
all I did, there were kiosks. I went into JFK, kiosks all over where you go into customs and you just literally slide your passport in there. And it shoots out this little little questionnaire. You hit no to all of the above because I didn't have that much to claim, and it was easy peasy. You stand there. They took a picture. I didn't stand there right. I didn't know what was happening, so it cut up on my head. So when I got to the customs agent, he looks at me and I said, "It is my forehead. It's okay." I just kind of didn't get lined up with the camera because it's okay, But anyhow, I'm telling you what,
funny.
if you have plans to go out of the country, or if you need a passport, I think even, is it Mexico, even Canada, you have to have a passport these days?
Yeah, and cruise ships now you have to have a passport. You used to not, but yeah.
But that is such a wonderful opportunity. You don't have to, because the line going through customs is, I mean, it was just, and the kiosks all along the back wall there at JFK, and it was like maybe 3 minutes. Now I had to have somebody help me with it because I'd never done it before. Yeah, well, whatever. Another lady was there, and she said, "Oh, it's really thin. You have to put your fingerprints in,
Right.
all that."
Yeah.
So it was well worth the time and the money.
I don't like to think about 9/11 having a positive, but this is something that did come out of that era of the 9/11 and all of that, which unfortunately we have to do it. But it did make it a lot easier.
It makes a whole lot of difference. So it's just highly recommended if you can. And if you do have travel plans later on, it's good for 5 years. So your passport, the way I remember, passport's good for 10 years, and global entry is good for 5 years.
And
so
it's just
and
easy
that,
to
that
do.
includes
Just do
your
it.
TSA pre-check.
Don't wait
Once you have global entry, you're automatically TSA pre-check as well.
One would hope.
Yeah, well, somebody didn't tell the ladies in Rome at Air Italia that I was pre-checked, so we won't go into that. So it's okay.
That was what she was frustrated about,
Yeah,
and it's
okay.
a legitimate beef because global entry includes TSA pre-check. So if you get global entry, you're automatically. And so make sure, check your boarding pass, check your tickets, make sure it says pre-check. I wouldn't either. No, I wouldn't either because you're automatically done.
Because it was smooth, fine going out of the country. It was just in Rome. There's that little snag from Rome to JFK was fine, but JFK to New Orleans was
And TSA pre-check is only U.S.? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, sure is. Just pre-check.
Well, did you bring back, do you take pictures on vacation?
Oh, gosh. Well, see that. I have A whole lot here. It was kind of hard.
But they
to
take
whittle
such
them
great
down.
pictures these days with the phone.
I'm telling you what, our phone pictures, and then I had a whole lot of postcards that I brought too, just because it's just kind of fun to have the postcards.
I didn't know
as
they
well.
even sold them anymore. Those are great pictures. Those would be neat framed in a little collage
they
too.
would. Yep.
Well, so you have some pictures you can show us though?
Well, I think are they on up or
I think they are. Now, when we see them, it's going to be a few seconds delayed. So, Amanda, you're going to have to tell us what we're seeing so that Di can tell us what we're seeing. So, do you remember the first one you loaded?
No.
Okay. Well, we're going to wait a second. Where did you go? You went to.
Well, first of all, what I did it was a group of friends. It was a large group, as a matter of fact, from South Louisiana, and there were different travel guides, you know, that within this agency that went with the different groups. So everybody did a fabulous job. A lot of people wanted to see a lot of stuff. So I guess the very first one that you've already seen, in front of the Coliseum.
Wow.
So that's a European breakfast. That was our breakfast every morning in Rome.
What?
At the hotel.
Just for y'all?
Yeah, and that's Santorini. I think we're a little behind.
Yeah.
And even Pinocchio is taller than I am. That was heading into Naples, going to Pompeii. And now this was in Dubrovnik. And there's a story about that, and that's the sunset in Santorini. You know, I think
we're going to loop these again for you because it's just.
And now you know where that is. That's
gondola,
of course that's in Venice, and then you're going to be looking out over that. And I love Mykonos.
Oh.
Mykonos, I was sitting there, and then this is the Grand Canal overlooking, of course, there in Venice. But the way it worked was that a whole group of us, we went from New Orleans. And we flew to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta to Venice. Okay. Now, I've never been on a cruise. You're the cruise king, and you cruise, you and Mark and your family and your friends cruise a lot. This is my first one. So I was a little apprehensive because I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping not to get seasick or not to have anything at all. I tell you what, the Mediterranean was smooth as glass. Isn't it beautiful? So, I've never seen water as blue as the Mediterranean. And it was that dark, dark blue. It was that turquoise blue. It was just stupendous. So once we flew into Venice, we stayed the night in Venice, then boarded the ship the next day. So, and it was a Norwegian cruise line. So that was a lot of fun.
How'd you like the Norwegian?
Oh, it was nice. It was one of the smaller ships. So
but that's just a floating, on that particular trip, you're a floating hotel room. You're not really on the ship a lot.
Because every day we went to a different port of call, you know. So when we sailed out Sunday night, it was so cool to stand at the front of the ship and just to watch it pull out of Venice, and to see all the places that you don't, along the Grand Canal that you don't see maybe from land, and you just kind of pulled out, like I said, beautiful weather, and everybody was just enthralled. And then you made that turn, and you headed down. So our first stop was Montenegro. Okay. So we went to Montenegro the very first trip, and that was Corfu. And then the next day we went to Corfu the next day. That's in Greece. Because Montenegro, then we went to Corfu, Greece. And we started there. And then the next one was Santorini. Then we went to Mykonos. Then we went to Argostoli, where we went through the Blue Grotto. Then we went to Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik was that's where they did the Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's right.
Some of that was
Now, do you watch that? Did you?
I didn't know.
So you wouldn't recognize anything?
Because I heard people, on the tour bus saying, "Oh man, that's where they shot that, and that's where they shot that, and look over there, the castle and all this, and all of the overlooking, the Mediterranean."
Wow.
So they were talking a lot about that, but it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And that one picture that I was standing there, and I was rubbing the nose of that, that statue.
Right.
That was in Dubrovnik, and one of my friends said, "Diane, go over there and rub that man's nose." It was Marin somebody or other. And I said, "Why, Pat?" She said, "I don't know." Everybody's doing that, having their picture taken. And evidently, it was something like it, on Wall Street, you rub the nose of the bull or whatever for good luck or something like that. But anyhow, you could tell that a lot of people had done it because his nose was so shiny, after. So I thought, okay, well, if it's going to bring me good luck, so I'm rubbing on his nose. And I think there was a picture there too where it looked like I had an apron on.
Right. What was that?
Well, that was in Argostoli. I can't remember the name of all these places. Argostoli. There's so many beautiful, spectacular Greek Orthodox churches. And some of them, they're very, you can't take pictures. Some of them you have to be very careful about your wearing apparel. And if any women in the group had your knees showing, you had to cover your knees. And so in that picture, you could see in the background, you could see it looked like, just drapes. And so they had all these little drapes that you could wrap, like a little wraparound skirt that you could put around your legs, that you could walk in with a respect into the church.
Wow.
So that's why, and my friend said, you look like you're a chef. And I said, oh, somebody's got to take a picture of this, because I don't cook. And she got a big charge out of that, taking a picture. And then we got to giggling, and I forgot to take it off. So as we're walking away from the church, the little tour guide goes, oh, madame, wait, you got to take this back. So anyhow, but it was the Greek Orthodox churches over there in Santorini and Mykonos and Arkastali and in Dubrovnik. Oh my goodness.
Now, was this
they're fabulous.
Is this Eastern, Western, Northern, Southern? What part of the Mediterranean was that?
That was the Eastern part, because you were in the Western, remember?
That's what I was trying to remember.
You went to Barcelona.
Right. Correct.
And you sailed the Western Mediterranean. But then once we got back, after we went, Dubrovnik was our last port of call, then when we sailed back up to Venice.
Okay.
The following weekend, and then we disembarked from Venice, and then a group of us stayed for another several days there. We got a hotel in Rome.
Oh, that's fun.
And then we went down to, we stayed in Rome. We went to Pompeii, went to the Bay of Naples. We went to Florence. It was just
nice.
And the weather, let me tell you, I was prepared for everything, because I kind of have to prepare for everything. And the week before that, we had gotten information that it was hot, but prior to that, it was cold and raining.
Right.
So I had some long sleeve layering things. I had a rain jacket. I had rain boots and all that. Let me tell you, it was hot. Wow, it was dry. Geez. It was beautiful every day. Every day.
Okay, out of all of your travels, where would you, if money were no object, and you could go and live somewhere?
Oh, I don't want to live anywhere.
You don't want to live. Okay.
No.
Second question then: where would you like to? No cruise. Where would you like to fly into and stay longer at that one spot?
Well, I didn't get to go to Athens. I didn't go to the mainland,
okay.
Because we did the islands. And I got to tell you, I think really, thinking back on it, to go to the islands, that was the best way to do it, because I was talking to Graham. And Graham went, remember last fall, Graham flew to Rome, then flew to Athens, and then he took a ferry to Santorini, but he said it was like 6 or 7 hours from Athens to Santorini. So I'm thinking that to be able to see all the islands that the whole group we got to see, that was the way to do it. Like you said, it was kind of a floating hotel.
Oh yeah.
But you got to, when they're tendered, boy, you got to get back on the ship.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you don't
they won't wait on you.
They won't wait on you.
They're moving.
They want to make sure that you're on that ship. But he said that was really, he did, Santorini that way. But to see all those islands that you wouldn't have seen otherwise, to go all the way, from again Montenegro, and then to Corfu, and then to Santorini and Mykonos, and then Arkastali, and then Dubrovnik. Croatia. You wouldn't have seen all that, and it was, and that Mediterranean, it was fab. So I would to answer your question, I would like to go back to Athens.
One of our
I've never been to Athens.
One of our business associates, Jacques Nance, who was here earlier this week, he and his wife are going to Croatia coming up in a few weeks. Yeah, they're going to spend some time. So I can't wait to hear his stories about Croatia.
You mean he talked to me about weather and then talked to me about Croatia? Is that?
Jacques, if you're watching, she's mad at you.
No, yeah.
Send her some pictures directly to her. What?
Oh, I've got pictures from Croatia.
So you've never been to Barcelona?
No.
Yeah, I think you'd like Barcelona. I'd be interested. I'd like to fly back in and stay a week in Barcelona.
Yeah,
we only stayed 2 or 3 days and got on the ship and did the thing,
Like
but that was just. I'm so glad you're back and got back safely.
For a couple of weeks, right?
No, I've never taken that much time off.
I thought you did.
I took 7, 8, 9, 10. Counting the weekends, it was 10 days gone.
2 weeks. That's kind of a long time. That's kind of a long time.
Well,
so it was good. It was good to be back home. But again, we talk about the fact you're over there for so long. You're out of the country. You want to do absolutely everything that you can. We did some great, had some great food. We went to Tuscany when we were in Italy. We were in the Chianti country. Oh, this villa that we had lunch in. Oh my, a 4-course lunch with a different wine for each, and we kept toasting.
Oh my gosh.
It was spectacular. Just what you think of Tuscany to be like.
Thank
you for everyone that that I was with, and that our tour group. We made some really great new friends, met new people, made some really good memories. That's what these trips do. You bond.
You do.
You really bond over these trips.
And you need to, because of things like the apartment we stayed in Barcelona was very affordable, very nice. And it had one thing that looked like a washing machine. And we had to do with load of clothes, right?
Yeah.
So we had one thing that looked like a washing machine. It was a washer-dryer combo unit.
Okay.
Not the over-under. It was one tub. And you put your clothes in, and you set it to do the wash, and it washes, rinses, spins, and goes into the dry cycle and dries them. We
All
could
in
not figure
one.
that out. All in one. Yeah, you never touch your clothes until they're dry.
Wow.
dry.
Why can't we have that over here?
Well,
Have all in one?
I'm glad we don't. I couldn't figure it out. We ended up going to the laundromat. Could not figure this thing out.
Oh, you never did?
Never did.
Oh, that is
Our clothes
hysterical.
were wet. The thing was full of water. We had to end up wringing. It was like we even called the landlord. She goes, "Well, it's easy. Just read the."
You Americans, you don't
That's
do
what
that.
she said. That
You
she laughed at
Americans,
us. When we did, but
was
it
the dollar
yeah.
pretty strong when you were over there last year? You were.
It was
Dollar
actually.
wasn't bad,
It
yeah.
was. Now, when we went to Puerto Vallarta, it was not. But
Yeah.
that was another trip. But yeah, over there.
But
it
I
was,
tell you
it was
what,
good.
those euros, that looks like Monopoly money. You can get. You can get in the whole lot, but in Croatia, Jacques, you will need kronins, and and that's a whole different, kind of paper money and the coins. So I did trade in some of my euros just so that I could see
Yeah.
what the kronins look like.
I don't think I would. Did you bring some back?
Oh yeah, I've got it at home.
Okay.
But I think I bought a little something there that was like 23 euros, which is like 26 American dollars. But in kronins, it was like 150,000.
Wow.
I don't know. How the monetary, but it was just kind of fun. It was just kind of fun to do that. So.
That is awesome.
But
So you have
anyhow,
anything else in your mind planned for the future? I mean,
no.
probably not this
Staying
year.
home. Staying home. It's
Yeah.
good to do that every once in a while, but it's awfully good to be back home.
So she gets back. She gets back on the air Monday. It was just a frantic week. First day back, we had stuff going on in the studio, stuff going on in our personal lives outside the studio. It was just crazy. So she gets back, and one of our visits that she always visits with this lady, we love her to death. She's been coming here for years.
Oh,
Brenda
yeah.
Walkenhorst from the Audubon Institute in New Orleans. She comes over and she promotes things going on at the Audubon Zoo, the Aquarium of the Americas, the Insectarium,
And
things
she's
like
been
that.
out of the country.
She's been out of the country. She's got some-
She had some huge trips.
She's got
that
some
she does
great
out of the country.
stories.
Yes, and that she does it through the Audubon Institute and all that. She really talk about a world traveler.
Well,
Brenda
she comes
is
over
amazing.
the night before and she spends the night in a hotel room, a pet-friendly hotel room,
Yes.
because she brings a pet from the zoo, from the
Wow.
petting zoo and things like that. And if you know
Loosely
anything
speaking.
about Diane and snakes, nah, that's like oil and water. So Diane gets the interview with Brenda Walkenhorst, and we're going to show you the whole interview.
yeah.
She brought a python.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Big Extra Hour. My friend Brenda Walkenhorst, she's not been on for a while. She's been very busy this spring. But boy, she's made up for it this morning. Brenda.
I know, I hadn't been here in a while, so I
No.
thought I'd bring one of my larger snakes for
Oh
you.
my gosh, very active. Wasn't so active over off
N-
set,
no.
but now it's just kind of yish. Now, what is this? And what's
This is an African ball python. It has the name Montana. I'm not sure why a snake from Africa has that name, but that's its name, and it's a gorgeous snake.
Well.
And one of the reasons I wanted to bring an African snake was because we've got so much African-themed great news at Audubon
Oh, we
Zoo.
do? Okay.
Lions are back. So,
Oh,
yeah, if you haven't been to
cool.
New Orleans to the Audubon Zoo, lions are back. We have a new exhibit. You can see them up close. It's amazing.
And you also have a lot of good things for the family for the summer, right?
Cheap, fun things. So we've got dinner in a Zuvie. You can come
I
and
like
watch
that,
a movie. The entry price is low. We've got food trucks. We also have Cool Zoo. Lots and lots to do.
Oh, this
Was because we've got so much African-themed great news at Audubon
Oh, we
Zoo.
do? Okay.
Lions are back. So, yeah.
I didn't know
if
they
you
went
haven't
away.
been to New Orleans,
Oh my gosh. Did you see how far away you were standing for this?
I love Brenda. I always tell her to keep them out of my no-fly zone. I have a no-fly zone on the set when she brings those little creepy
But normally they're
crawlers.
just curled up and all you see once in a while is the tongue. But this thing was all over the set.
Yes, and right before this, he was well, I was kind of watching out of the corner of my eye. He was fine, and Brenda was just, she holds that. But anyhow,
You've
it
actually
was fine.
walked off the set before when the thing,
Oh my gosh!
not that particular.
It was fine, and then he got real active. And usually under the lights they don't get that active, I don't think.
But that's a good reminder, though. Your kids are out of school. You have 4th of July coming up next weekend, and things you want to do. The Audubon Institute and the Aquarium of the Americas. So if you haven't been in a while, and I haven't been in a while,
I haven't either.
and friends of mine went that live in New Orleans and went, and they said, "Look, we live here. We never go." They said, "You need to. It's fascinating."
Yeah.
And they have so much to do and so much going on. And the kids have the petting zoo and things like that, and it's very
just cool.
educational.
Yeah.
So just think about that. We're thinking about things to do when the kids get back from summer camp or this week for 4th of July or whatever.
And we
like
also
that.
have talking about Friday night movies.
They finally got that underway. Yes, remember the very first one was your last show, and they couldn't do it because of the weather that Friday night.
That's right.
So
Yep.
they bumped that, and that was going to be Frozen.
Uh-huh.
So they bumped Frozen. This is at the Goodwood Library, the main library in Goodwood, Friday night. movies on the plaza, and if you are a little heat sensitive, they will show the movie inside as well, so you can do that. So it's
a beautiful facility. That is really nice. We're very blessed to have that kind of facility here.
But this was going to be the last Friday. Tonight, it's not. It's going to be next Friday. It's frozen.
Okay.
So tonight and next Friday.
Okay, bring your lawn chair, your blanket.
Bring lawn chair and blankets. Something else that's kind of exciting. While you were gone, I took Jenny up on out at the little theater, the Theater Baton Rouge.
Oh, yeah.
I took her up on her invite to come see Newsies. And I saw that is a high energy, a lot of physicality on stage. I mean, I can't believe these kids aren't going away from there with bruises and some of the,
wow.
It was some of the best work I've seen Theater Baton Rouge do. And I see a lot of that. You know, I'm going to get season tickets back. But Newsies has sold out. So Katie Stewart and the gang out at the theater have extended the run. They've added a couple of performances.
Good job.
So if you've been on the Theater Baton Rouge website and you couldn't get tickets, go back because they have added some shows. I don't know exactly when.
And how nice is that to be able to add shows because it's so good and the demand from from the public, from the community, they want to see it. They want to see it. They want to add that. That's great. Congratulations.
So go on the website, get your tickets to Newsies, and don't miss it. There's something else that's going on this weekend that Groves Marina. There's a gentleman by the name of Leroy Grow. He and his family have a camp down on 4 Mile Bayou in Stevensville, and the camp turned into a party place over the years, and it evolved over the years into where he has legally purchased and installed a fuel tank for boats to come up and fuel. He built a deck. He's built this big marina now right at his camp, and it's called Groves Marina. Well, he's been frustrated because of the area out there and the flooding and the sinking of the barge, and they haven't had a chance to open. Well, they're open now, big time. And I like the instructions. If you really need to go by boat, it's out near Lake Verret and Bayou Lake Prelord. But if you go by car, you go 7 miles down 4 Mile Bayou. That's the direction. 7 miles down 4 Mile Bayou.
He was talking about you got it mixed up 4 miles or
4 miles.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, Leroy Grow, they're holding something called Boogie on the Bayou at Groves Marina. Now, this is a fundraiser for something that I had never heard of in my life. We had these people on earlier this week. We had a young man named Nathan Roy and Donna Finall, and Donna is a community fundraiser coordinator for NephCure, and the disease that this young man has is a kidney disease that's rather rare. It's I don't even know how to say it. Nephrotic syndrome. He has had
heard about it until
five operations in 18 months. He's on his third kidney transplant, and all of them have been infected with this disease that basically shuts down your kidneys. And he is on dialysis. And we interviewed him, so give you a little more about this and give you more information on Boogie on the Bayou. Go ahead and roll that, Amanda, if you haven't done so. Nephrotic syndrome is a kidney disease. Some of you may have heard of it. I've never heard of this. We have Nathan Roy in the studio with us, unfortunately a victim of nephrotic syndrome. He's got FSGS. And Donna Finall is doing something about finding a cure. And it's going to be a fun event, but before we get to the fun event this weekend at Groves Marina in Stevensville, we want to talk about what is this? Now, you've had multiple kidney transplants, and the disease has come back into the new kidneys.
Correct.
What is the disease?
The disease is, I have FSGS. It's focal segmental glomerular sclerosis. I can hardly say that word. I can't really. But that's the essentially scarring of the filters in the kidney. Nephrotic syndrome, though, is a big umbrella for many different diseases that scar the kidneys, ultimately, in a lot of people, leading to kidney failure and dialysis.
Are you on dialysis?
I am, yeah.
And you're passionate because?
Because there is no cure, and you or I, either one, could be affected by this disease tonight. And I do it for people like Nathan. To me, it's unacceptable that there is no cure. There are not even approved drugs.
That is so scary. Let's get to this weekend. Boogie on the Bayou. I've been talking to Leroy Grow off and on all spring, and Groves Marina is 6 miles down, 4 miles down 6 Mile Bayou.
No, 6 miles down, 4 Mile
Bayou. I
Bayou
love the
Road.
directions. And it's in Stephenville. Tell us quickly about the event. It's this Saturday, starts at 12.
It's Boogie on the Bayou. We have Ryan Foray and Foray Tradition performing from 1 to 5. They're drawing a big crowd. We have our own Lieutenant Governor, Billy Nungesser, as our honorary chair. He will be there at noon to speak to us. We have lots of Louisiana seafood, thanks to the Louisiana Seafood Marketing Board. We have bake sale, auction, games for the kids, and it's all for raising money for Neff Cure Kidney International.
And look at this, and you can give more. $5 for the cover charge, $5. Groves Marina, this will also celebrate Groves Marina's big grand reopening after all the flooding. Leroy, we'll see you Saturday. Guys, we'll see you guys Saturday as well. Nathan, our prayers are with you. God love you, man.
Yeah.
Event. Billy Nungesser is going to be there.
Wonderful fundraiser.
Ryan Foray and Foray Tradition has performed at Live After 5 many times.
Yes, they have.
And support the organization, Neff Cure, support Groves Marina. Leroy Groves, he lost his dad a couple of years ago, and it was just such a tragedy. Their family is so close, and they do so much out in that area and for everybody, and I'm so proud to be associated with these guys.
$5 cover charge.
$5.
That's it. And
$5. You can give more.
Everything. Yes.
Some of us from WAFB are going to caravan down there. We're going to go down. What was it? How'd she correct me?
6 miles down, 4 miles.
6 miles down, 4 Mile Bayou. So that's at Groves Marina tomorrow. I'm hoping, I know we've got some weather, but I'm hoping we can get a good turnout for these guys out
And just
boogie
be
on the
real
bayou.
careful when you're out tomorrow, when you're out today for the evening drive, when you're out tomorrow, 50 to 60% rain chance. And then next week, looking forward to the 4th of July. Right now, it looks like it's just going to be hot and typical 4th of July, maybe a little bit of rain.
Make sure you check out our websites. The news site, the WAFB First Alert weather app has traffic on it. You'll need the weather app this weekend, unfortunately, or fortunately. I mean, I go to that app a lot.
Yes.
And you can do the future, and you can look at what's
It's easy to use,
past.
too. It's very user-friendly.
If I can do it, anybody can do it. I mean, Diane was able to successfully teach me how to do that.
And we won't be here next week.
Won't be here next week. We'll be here 2 weeks from
2 weeks,
today.
yep.
So join us on the air next week and on all of our social platforms for all of the 4th of July activities. We're going to be talking about pet safety on the air with regard to fireworks.
Right.
And fireworks safety and the shows that are going to be going on in and around our area. Point Capee Parish has a huge 4th of July celebration down in New Roads. Yeah.
It's going to be good. It's all good.
Anita Lynch, hello. Thank you for joining us. Debbie Murphy West said good morning. Thanks for the laughs. And
Thank
Celeste
you.
Groh, she is leaving Seattle, watching us in Seattle. Catch the whole show on the replay.
Nice.
You guys are so nice to us.
We appreciate it.
And we have a lot of fun with the show and hopefully make you giggle and laugh.
Yep.
And we're going to go get some giggle and laugh in after our long week, too.
Ooh, yeah.
You do as well. Have a
A little
great
more
weekend. Wow, lights on when wipers are on.
Yep. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend.